And we've got everything ready. New paddling pool is set up. Time to find where this leak is. So I've had to wait for the water, because when I got back on holiday it was green, and we found that the UV, although it was working, it was barely putting out a glow. So we've changed the bulb, we've waited a week and a bit, and the water level hasn't dropped from where it was, apart from the fact that the tide line is there, because I've emptied some of the water into the new paddling pool. I had to wait for that to turn up. Took flipping forever. Flipping Every was the deliverer, so that's why that took so bloody long to turn up. And these guys, yeah, they're not doing too bad. But the pond, it's a shadow of its former self, unfortunately. 2 remaining off. One with a bent tail, and the other, the large blew off. No jokes about that, please. All the goldens didn't survive. We've only got lurch survive out of all the bigger fish. And most of them in here now are what we've grown on. So, even kept the ones that I wasn't going to keep. So, until we get something a bit better, you can stay in there for a bit. And my cousin's lost a load of fish as well, so maybe next year you can have the ones that he was going to have them anyway, I think. You can have the ones that I didn't want to keep in here, really. So we lost 2 out of the 3 kahaku. Well, one was a shiramuji, but the one with a nice pattern, that one died. And we're just left with the one with the marathon spot and about 2 bits of Benny. Big yellow, we lost big yellow. We lost the kahaku, big one, we lost both of those, the doits and the non-doits. And else, so many we lost. We lost 25 fish in total, which is just devastating. Miyazaki from the Growing Show, which had then hit 40 cm, we lost that. We lost the yellow dragon, which was doing really well. We lost Neo, we lost Kinki at Surrey, we lost that one, that was doing really well. Chagoi, here is our chag that we got from the very first episode. We lost that. In fact, the only one surviving now from that one, from those 5, is the Sakai Kahaku. That's the only one left. What else did we lose? There's so many we've lost. It's hard to keep up. Oh, my little Yamabuki, I lost that. Along with Mum's big yellow. So I'm going to have to find a replacement for that. Like I say, the only fish I've got over 50 cm now is lurch. Right. All the tench survived. It's weird that, isn't it? All the tench survived. Mind you, they were the last to come out, and they went straight from the main pond to the little pond. The last to come out because they're the hardest to bleed and catch. So what we're doing today, we're giving that a filter clean through first. And I'm going to ditch the water, and I'm going to start emptying it via the easy pod, get it down a little bit, get these new grids, which are fairly good. You just gotta flick that over now like that, and there you go. So that's much easier than them big heavy bleeding wooden things. I'll tell you what, we made them well, them wooden things, because they took me about 3 days to break them up and get all the wire off. So yeah, over here in the little pond, oh, I've got to do a water test on this, so I need to make sure that KH is stabilised. There's my new addition. He was 11 cm when I got him. He's probably about 13, 14 cm now. He's a bit skittish still. Lovely Aragoki. Narenji. Bit of metallic in him as well. And he came from Southern Aquatics, and I don't normally buy from Southern Aquatics. For him, he was a bit different. And he was $14.99. $14.99 for a fish that size. I reckon if I can get him up, he's going to be worth it. Because normally you just have a load of crap in there. In fact, he did come out of a tank full of a load of crap. There was a load of Acabecos and Beccos, and obviously someone's Sankey spawning rejects, but he was in there as well. So these guys are going to stay in over winter. My growing show is not growing. We saw Rick's on video the other day, and they're not growing either. So I have heard people have got some of them 37 cm, and now he's probably 24 now. So since April, he's put on about 7 cm. He's doing about a cm a month, rather than a cm a week. Right then, we have got loads to do. We've got this to clean out today as well. And we've got everything to sort out over there with the new filtration. And get that working. On the new mini paddling pool. So I just couldn't be bothered to get the big one up. And get mounted that, feathering that out. So we bought this little thing, which was over 50 bloody quid, which is bloody extortionate, but I made a modification to that. And then I've got some onion sacks on the way. I can put that into the onion sacks and have a bit more filtration. Excuse me. So there we go. The water's not looking too bad. It was pea green when I got home. I was like, why is that so green? It was literally pea soup. And already we've got a ton of bloody leaves. And it's not even autumn yet, really, let's be honest. We're about a week or two away from autumn. The amount of leaves in there already. So if we can't find this leak properly, then we are in trouble, because if I put all the fish in there, a little pond, I've got to watch the KH level, because it just dropped like a stone. And they were in there a couple of weeks longer because it was been, and I wanted to, because I've been desperately trying to find out what this leak is. Now we know it's not the patch now down the bottom. We fixed that, and we tested it about an inch above, and the water an inch above the patch. And we tested that. We left that for a day, and the water didn't go down. Then we filled it up to where it was now, and the water didn't go down. Then we filled it up above the patch, and the water didn't go down. Then we filled it up a little bit more, and that's when the water started to go down. And I thought, well, it's got to be in the top here somewhere. But it carried on going down and down and down and down and down. Checked all the pipe work, and it's not the pipe work leaking. So we are still baffled as to what it can be. I've been in probably a dozen times in the last few weeks, last few months, searching for this leak. And when I came back and got in, I thought, this is just too green, I'm not going to see anything. So the idea was to drain it out and start again. So then I found the UV wasn't working properly, so we changed that. Let's have a look at some fish rather than just an empty pond. And then I changed that, and I had to wait for the paddling pool to turn up, which only turned up. I put it together yesterday, so it turned up the evening before. Too late to do anything about it. So there we go. And these are much better now. Apart from the fact that when I measured it, this was over here somewhere. And then when I put it together, it's not fully over. And if I do that, it comes off at that end. It was right that once I put the net on it, it seems to have changed the dimensions a bit. And never mind, that'll do for now. The thing to do, I think, would be to take this piece of pipe out and just extend it, and it should then fit. And there we go. For now, it'll do. So yeah, we have a lot of fish to replace, and it's not going to stop me keeping fish. It is, however, I made my YouTube thinking it's blooming cursed doing this, but we'll carry on. We've got a new project because the backy shower on this take a look at this. Look at that, the lid's collapsed in, and I have tried and tried to get the lid back on. Had all the media out of it, took it all apart, put it back, put the media in, it stayed for a bit, then I come back a little bit later, it's collapsing again. So we are needing a new backy shower. So that is the job. I've got all the parts for the new one, which I'll show you, and then we'll start making that. Right, this is the new shower. What's going to be the new shower? Much stronger boxes. These are Euro crates without the hole in it. So no need to be sticking any plastic up here. Just going to drill a hole through here and a hole through the other side at the bottom. Much stronger, and they actually stack inside each other. Let's So no collapsing like we've got on that one. And instead of those gutter and things that we've got in the bottom grids, proper egg crate, which needs cut into size. Look at that. Why couldn't it just have been a little bit? No, look at that. Can you see that? Can you see that? He does crack me up all perky. There we go. If it was just a little bit, you're going to have to cut like that much off. Like an inch off, you're going to have to cut. And then that's it. Sort of on there. So there'll be a sort of, oh my god, I'm going to steady it. So there'll be cuts along there. And then an inch off of that side. Yeah. So much more solid. Much better. Alright then, so that is everything. We've got the connectors, the different connectors. Because when I got them, I realised that the ones we've got on that shower are a big disc. It's not going to fit in that hole. So we've got smaller tank connectors that fit. Yeah, let's go find them. There we go. Brand new. Fully connect up. They go in there. And on the bottom on the other side. Go out there like that. And a bit of jiggery pokery with the pipework that we've got. And the connectors. Because the pipework what doesn't fit inside. 50mm don't fit, 1.5" don't fit, and the waste pipe doesn't fit. So I'll have to go and get some more for a spray bar. And these guys, yeah, not growing so much, but then we had that sort of 3 weeks where everybody was in this pond. Oh. And I was only feeding them once a day, that was it. And we're getting just one feed a day, so and it wasn't as much as I'd give them if they were separate, so on one feed. So yeah, we haven't got the growing as well as we did last season. And my shearos are now starting to get red bellies and a bit of red on the gill plate. Whether that's the new colour food, I don't know. You see he's got a little bit of red stripe on his chin, cheek even. And one of them, it's not that one. I think it's the other one. It's the one with less. No, it's not. It is that one. It is that one. It is that one, the darker one. Yeah, slight benny coming up all along the belly. Look. So, and that one's going to be no good. That one's got a tiny bit on his cheek, which might have to see me come across and hide it. And then me one from the raffle is also getting it. But then I think next year, if I go on just the growth food and not the colour and growth food, then it might not happen. Here's me growing show. Fins and that are all healed up now, but just not growing. And this yellow dragon is a Kiki Curlew. He's already starting to go gunmetal across this pattern. So I know he's got a better zipper than the other one. It's not as good, and he seems to have a chunk out of one of his pec fins. So he's not as good. Oh, and he's got a bit of cart box as well that he keeps coming up with. So he cost me twice as much as the one I lost, and it's half as good. So, yeah. We'll get back. We'll get slowly back. I'm going to go for quality over quantity, as long as the price is right. And then, yeah, Mickey Jackie's doing alright. Although we just seem to have a lot of pepper into him. Whether that's going to come up as pattern or whether it's just going to stay as pepper. Chimneys, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, he's doing alright. So at least I've got one Kajaku to replace. And then the Deutsch one. Replaced for my other Deutsch one I lost. So those two are replaced. We've just got to replace everything else. Because there's no yellow in the pond, main pond at the moment. And the only yellows I've got is the yellow dragon and the Kiyotsugi, which is doing alright actually, that Kiyotsugi. Not sure what that Kawari guy is going to be. What colour he's going to come out with. Is he going to go olive green? Is he going to go a browny colour? Is he going to go a yellowy, mustardy colour? Unknown. And then we've got this one here, which I'm now convinced is a Benny Kiko rather than a Kajaku. Sankey with a divot in his head. It's the only Sankey I've got left. So, you're going to be nice when you get bigger, mate. He has grown quite a bit since he's put in there. Alright then. Let's see how we're doing with this filter clean. Get this pond emptied out. Wish they'd turn their music down. They do have to listen to some shite, I tell you. 1 minute it's like heavy metal, the next minute it's reggae or something, then it's 60s, then it's blooming happy bloody hardcore. You're gonna listen to music, listen to one thing or another. It's just, oh, why you have to have it so freaking loud. Can't wait to get my shed cleaned out and get my decks up and running again. Although we do need new headphones, we need new stylus, some Concords, proper Concords. What else do we need? Oh, we need a wire for one of the speakers as well. So I think it's gonna have to wait till next year. Yeah, look, see, these are popping up Benny all over the place. These shearos, secondary Benny. Huh. I mean that one, that's coming up cracking, but oh, just get rid of that Benny on your cheeks, mate. Just get rid of them rosy cheeks. Yeah, and then there's that one which I got out of the raffle. The £10 raffle. It's got one Benny on the cheek. I'll have to take Tasha's one in the main pond because if that's getting Benny, then I could pretty much say it's the food. But like I say, we're growing, we're just not growing as quick. But I think next year what I'm going to do is I know a few ingredients out of the Munger mix that Rick uses. So like the Enigma code, we're going to find out what's missing out of the ingredients I do know. And we're going to try and make our own Munger mix for next year. And do a trial with that. Yeah, that's Shiro. Where is it? It's not. It is that one. It's not that one. It's the other one. It's that one. Yeah, he's got a lot more. If you go up, mate, we can see your belly. It's a lot more orangey. Oh, tell you what, he has grown. He's put some height on as well. That's for an 11cm fish. And when he went in there, he just hid behind the bubbles all day. He was only coming out in the evening, and I was having to feed him with sinking pellet that we got from a tackle shop, so not proper koi pellet. And that was all I could find that we could feed on. So he was just taking 2mm micro pellet. But now he comes up. He comes up for the floating. He's doing alright actually. I'm proud of him. And right, let's get a move on because we are slowly getting past the day. So we'll catch you in a bit, guys. And there we go. For the time being, temporary accommodation. And it's literally took me 3 hours to empty the pond, net the fish, sort this out as best I can. It's kind of all over the place, but it's doing its job. The barrel's no longer falling over, which it kept doing. And yeah, that's looking good. Alright, the Chiba. It's already starting to lighten up. Tomorrow you'll see a totally different colour. And that's working alright. That's working well. Temporary fix. Let's hope we don't. Yeah, that's solid now, it's not going to blow over. Alright. I just got to move the table out of the way. I'm going to put that over by the little pond once I've cleaned out that area. I've done that filter clean. And there we go. That needs to come back to that because we're not using that anymore. Yeah, I think this should be good in there. It's only going to be hopefully a few days. All depends on what goes on with this. And look at the amount of leaf in there already. So, whatever happens, if I find this leak, or I don't find this leak, next year I want to get this liner cut out. And behind that's a brick wall. I can get that skimmed off, plastered up, whatever you want to call it, with cement. And get that nice and smooth. Because there are 1 or 2 bricks that do protrude out towards the liner, which I've had a look at and I couldn't see any of that. And then, if I can go deeper, I'll go deeper. And then we'll cut a hole in that wall there at the bottom. Underneath we'll tunnel up. Tunnel underneath. Because it's literally a wall, if I remember right there. And it's foundations. And then it's dirt underneath. So we'll go through the dirt. Come out here. Dig a hole here. Until we meet that coming through there, and then bottom draining, come out through there, proper pipe work, and go in through there, and we'll have a proper bottom drain. And I did measure up for an Nexus 220 and it's slightly too big to go in that shed, so it might be an adjustment of bringing it out across this wall a bit, sorting that out, sorting out a proper foundation in there, and we'll be running a Nexus 220 next year. That is all price dependent. If I can find a cheap second-hand one, and yeah, how much it's going to be to get this fiberglass properly. Don't know what you'd do about the bottom. I imagine it would have to be cemented because it is just dirt. Can't go any deeper over there because there's a pipe, utilities pipe. So if I can make this end deeper, I'll probably go bottom drain at this end, so it'll all go and come back up there. The flow will go in this end and then it'll be sucked out of that end, which will be deeper. Get rid of this silly ledge because I don't need it. Yeah, fiberglass. There we go. That is the plan, and that should make my pond last a few more years. Otherwise, a new liner is take every single stone off the top of the wall. Remember where it's got to go back to. Rip the liner out, put a new liner in, and put every stone back. You're not going to remember where every single stone went, or how much cement was between each one. So I think if you went, even if I did put cement over the top of there and had the fiberglass come right up to the top, because the liner's still in there, it'll still be in the wall, so it would only overflow if it got too full. And just maybe instead of having these bricks, just have the depth up to there the bricks are, and just have that a black bit showing with just fiberglass, which most people's ponds have that anyway. They don't have the water line right up to the top. And if you can go deeper, I would like to go deeper. That is going to need a bigger filter. There's the easy pod one, hack it, and I can have just one bottom drain. Forget about the retrofit bottom drain, or save that for something else in the future. Yeah, right, let's get my wellies on, all my waders on, and see if we can't find this freaking leak. See, that patch down there looks solid. I know it's covered in algae, but that looks solid. And we'll get it all cleaned off. We'll have a look first, and we'll clean it all off and get it all cleaned out. Just gonna have to fold that over. Prop it up somehow. Yeah, that should just prop up with one of them bits of pipe. Hold it up, out my way. Right, let's crack on. Now then, beautiful people, we spent all day yesterday cleaning this out, and good news and bad news. Good news is this patch was holding. Bad news is, and I was jet washing it, the sealant started to come off around the edge. So, to be safer rather than sorry, I'm going to repatch it rather than just stick it back down. So I'm going to repatch that one. That's this liner, liquid liner. After that, and over here, now if you're going to be able to see that, it's going to be too distorted. Okay, over here, there, tiny little pinprick. I'm not sure that's enough to make it leak as what it's leaking. It's definitely looks like it's all the way through. It's definitely a bit of weak liner, so that's going to be cleaned off and patched. And it is in the right kind of area to where the water level was. You can see the water level was along here and in here. So to make sure I've not done that yesterday when I've been jet washing it, I'm going to carry on checking and see if I can find any more. We'll get that patched up first and then we'll carry on looking around the rest of it. This one is fine, it's still got its air bubble, which is perfect. So I've wasted most of the day running around different shops trying to find patches. And eventually I found some. That was all they had at Southern Aquatics. So that'll do for a spare bit. Alright then. Everything I need. Let's get this patched. So the first thing to do when you've got your patch is take off all the square corners. That's because if it's going to peel off, that corner is going to be the way it peels off. And once you've cut it to your rough shape, over, and that is going to be good enough. And you're thinking, why such a massive patch for such a tiny hole? And the reason is I put a blob in the actual hole right around it, and that should be enough on its own to seal it. And then I'll leave a gap of about 1.5 centimeters, and I'll put another ring around there. And then further out around the edge of the patch, I'll put another ring around the edge of the patch, and that is the bit that you'll press to the liner. And once you've done that, you go on the outside with the bead and press the two beads together. And you should be left with an air bubble in the middle, which is what seals the actual leak, the actual hole. A bit like an air bubble trapped in a sunken ship. The air can't escape, the water can't get in. So you're basically making watertight seals. And if you've got 3 seals, it's better than 1. Let's get me old label out and I'll show you putting the patch on. So stage 1 is to clean all the liner. Now you see all this white here. It looks white. It's actually algae, and I'll prove it to you. You can see that once you wet it, you see bright green. And if you try and patch the liner to that, what's going to happen is when it gets wet, it's going to go green, and and it's going to soak up the water underneath the patch, peel your patch off. So first of all, wet cloth, wet it all up, scrubbing brush, scrub it all off, which I've been doing now for about 10 minutes. And then you take your patch and line it up where you want to line it up. That there still needs to come off. And we carry on until we've got it like the rest of it, where there is no actual algae. My last job is to take a wet wipe, big wipe, and that should get all that green off. And you're left with the actual liner. Where's the damn hole? There. There's the damn hole. You can probably see that a bit better now. It's just into view. Just there. Right. So after that, you've got to let it dry off, and then you can stick your patch to it. And then a big blob in the middle, and literally two little fingers around the edge. I've already got it around the outside of the patch. So now I'm going to need both hands to stick the patch to that. So come back to you when I've got it on. And there you go, the patch is in place. It's the middle, right on the blob. Now I'm not going to touch that or touch that ring around there. What I'm going to do is slowly just press it around the edge, getting that properly, because I'm trying to look at two places at once. We'll go all the way around, and that's what we want. We want the seal to just start appearing around the edge. I need two hands probably, because the liner is not tight against the wall where these idiots put my liner in. Hoping next year you'll be able to afford fiberglass. Slowly starting to appear. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a bead all the way around this edge, and then using a big wipe, we'll push the two beads in together, smear it out flat, and then that will be done. Now that inside bead will still stay not solid. It won't go off. It'll take a couple of days to go off. And that big bead in the middle especially, that could even take 3 or 4 days to go off. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be filling it up. And what will happen is the water pressure will press it flat and seal it. If you start pushing it and making it really, it's not right. You thin out the sealant too much. It's just a case of pressing it slowly and basically pressing the back end of the bead, pushing it out. I mean, that will take a while. It'll take a few minutes to all the way around, and my elbow going to sleep. So I'm going to carry on pressing that, and then we'll show you up when I'm putting the outside bead on. So there we go, look. It's all the way around, just pull it out. There's a little bit there that doesn't come out yet. That should be fine. All the way around, you've got the bead just starting to come out. And that's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put another bead, pretty much the same, on the outside, and using a big white, we're going to smear them in as one, and that should hold. In the middle you can see looks a little bit puffy. That's the air bubble. That's the air bubble I need between there and between the inside and the blob, and that's what's creating your vacuum seal basically. So yeah, that's why we put such a big patch on a tiny hole. Right, so let's get the next layer on, and I'll show you how to smear it all in. And there you go, that's the outside. Ready to go. And my advice is don't be stingy, because you're going to lose half of it to the big wipe. And I'll show you in a second. Get my fingers sorted out. One big wipe, one finger, and just want to go around it, pushing it out. Keep smearing it round. Could be rough at first. Taking it off, see that? See how much of that we've lost? Never mind. We'll do the same again. Coming round. Yeah, another load. Okay. Eventually you'll need to get a fresh one, which I should have already got ready, shouldn't I? And now we can start to show Now what we want to do is right round the outside edge. That's where we want to make sure that it's thin and pressed into the liner. I'm starting to get myself in a pickle here. I'm trying to do it one-handed and show you guys. But that's where you want to get it at its thinnest. See that? What you don't want to be seeing is the patch underneath. It's got to be nice and thick. You don't press too hard, but you can see how thick that is there still. That's great. Yeah. Let's have a look closer in. So you don't want these edges here. That's where you want when you jet wash it. That can peel off. So we'll go around that again. There's a bit there. doesn't look too neat and tidy. Use two hands, so I'll put the camera down before I get liquid black all over it. But yeah, I'll put the camera down and then I'll show you the finished result. And there you go, one finished patch. And once it dries, it should look something like this. That one is a bit, this is a more awkward place, so it is a bit messier, but I'm happy with that. Now I've got to do this one, which is going to be, I'm going to swear a lot of this time, I know I am, because this one is right on a curve, right on the ledge, and where they didn't put the liner in properly, all these creases, and there's a damaged bit there as well that I have to cover, so I have to cover both with one patch, pretty much. So the way I do that is I treat it as two mini ones on the inside and then a big bead around the outside. I'll have our silicone there, which I'll put on the patch. It'll have a big load of goo through that hole, which is getting bigger, I must say. But I keep taking it off and we're having to redo it. You put the silicone in, it's obviously taking more out, but yeah, this one's going to be a nightmare. And if you do have one, a hole that is in an awkward place, and you've got a crease, and what you do is that will crease back up naturally. So you've got your crease, let's say, let's use this big one. So your patch is like that, and it's gone over a crease. And what you do is you've got to fill that area, as small as you can make it. You'd have to fill that and that side, push the nozzle in, squares it right in, and it basically form a massive plug inside. Right, that's what we're going to have to do with that one. And it normally makes me curse like a trooper. There we go. Oh, I got that one done. We'll get that one done, and then we'll go on a hunt for any more. Yes, I'm still not convinced that's enough to. Basically, I was losing a full easy pod a day. It's worth of water. So this didn't come that clean as well. We'll have a look, we'll find it, we'll patch accordingly. 24 hours since we've done this patch. It's skinned over nicely, and you can see there's no liner showing or it's all just sealant. I feel on the inside, it's still soft, and that's what you want. There's the water pressure. Oh, still that shot. But that should be happening today. Filling it up. You've had quite a bit of rain overnight, which has not helped me cause much. This one was giving me jip last night because these kept. Oh, it has, it sealed it good. These bits here kept popping away from the. There's a little bit of a. I might put a bit more over that, just to be sure. The rest of it. Yeah, we're looking good. looking right, pulled up right. So that's not looking too bad. And after we did both patches, slowly went round the rest of it. At 7 o'clock at night, last night, I got to here and we found another small hole here somewhere. There, tiny little bit of wheat line up, and then here somewhere, right on this bloody lip of this. I think it's there actually. Yeah, there it is. There's a tiny little tear there. So there might be something there as well. So I think what we'll do is we've got a nice big patch over here. This one's got to be done first. The higher one up, because I don't want to do this one and be kneeling around to do that one and disturb this one. So we're going to end up with 3 new patches. And in the last 2 years, that'll make it 4 patches. So I think this liner is on its last legs. It's starting to go in places. Maybe under the waterfall there. I've got to have another look because there was what looked like pinpricks in it, but I'll have a look at that again. Right then, so same as yesterday. Patch up. I'll leave it. It's probably not going to get 24 hours because I need that to be this one here. I need it to water pressure on it to seal it on the inside. You can feel that. It's, yeah. Nice air bubble forming in there. That middle is still soft, still very soft. So that needs to get pressed in as soon as possible. So be nice and early in the day. If you get these 2 done within this hour, check the rest of it, recheck that bit, and make a decision of whether I'm going to patch it or not, and then start filling it up and hope they don't blooming leak. Alright then, let's get on with the job. Right then guys, we're almost ready to fill up on the next day again. So yesterday we got that patch done, and then we found that one as well. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just hope there's no more. I'll have one final check because they are so small, so hard to spot. But yeah, my pond's now looking like an advert for quitting smoking. That many patches on it. So I definitely think the liner's on its way out. Because they're like tiny little rips, almost like little slashes in it, to be honest with you. I don't know, that one was a straight rip, that one was a straight rip. That was a bit of a graze and a hole. That one we know about, it's a massive great hole where I dropped a rock through it. That one was also a small hole about the size of a pinprick. That I feel is contributed to the actual way that it was flowing down. So a lot more water there. I don't get these two though, because when I had it an inch above that patch, it wasn't going down. In fact, it didn't go down until I took it above that patch. It might have just been the extra water pressure. There we go. Next year, we are going to seriously think about getting rid of this liner. We either go for a new liner, which is going to be a pain in the ass. I mean, I could always build another top bit and it's more stone. I just think it would look silly. Plus, it goes in there, then the liner goes up and then goes up at the back of these. So it's actually the top of the liner is actually there. So I can still fill the water line up to about here. So you don't see the liner. That was the idea anyway. That's the lowest you can fill it to. So I think what I really want to do is take the liner off. See if you can skim the wall and get it fiberglass. That is what I would love. So the final check, and then we'll put everything back in. That's clean off. That's clean. And then I'll pop everything back. Just needs a rinse off. I'll put everything back. Put these mats back. And we'll get filling up, because this is day 3 since that's been. It is still soft in the middle, I can feel it. So hopefully it should press flat. Alright then, let's get it going. Alright, we've got everything back. We've got water going in. We didn't find any more holes. Doesn't mean to say there isn't any. But fingers crossed there isn't any. And I think I'll fill up to just above that patch over there, because that one's higher. That one we know is good. Yeah, that one's higher than that one there. So I think you fill up to there, which is about half full, and we don't get any leaks, you can then finish off. Oh, I've got to drop sodium thiosulfate in. And already we're getting like leaf bits. That one there, before I put the water in, there's another leaf over there. Can't wait to get a bottom drain on this one, proper one. So all we gotta do now is wait. It's starting to rain, but it's not going to help me filling up the pond any quicker. And then once we've done all this, that's desperately in need of a filter clean and a window clean, and then we can start the backy shower. So it's just a waiting game now. What time is it? 1:30. Jesus, it took me ages just to set it all up. Alright, so probably about 6 o'clock then. Be somewhere near. There's my makeshift float. And I do it like that because you get quicker water than the hose pipe. Weird. So, plus the hose pipe's got about 58, it's got more leaks in this pond. You need a new hose pipe. turned it on to top of the little pond up the other day, and no water came out the end of it. It all came out the holes. So new hose pipe is needed. Well, there's nothing much more to do than just sit here and wait. Fish them leaves out. Where's the net? That's over there. Right. These guys. And look at the change on that achiever. From a black fish. Now it's got pattern on it. Let's see if we can find him. There we go. I might drop him in a blue bowl. Lost him again. There he is. There we go. You can actually see there's not pattern. You can get rid of the glare. He dives under the bubbles. Yeah, I'll get him out of the blue bowl before I put him out back in. Oh, that's just changed colour. Back to his original kind of colour he was when I first got him. Though he just seemed to have lost the gold highlights he had. That was just changed colour. I'm struggling to tell the difference between Matsuba, which is over there, it's gone really light, and Yatsuri, which has dropped back quite a bit. It seems to be like the same, he's taking over the pattern. It's now going for more. Still right over the scales of black. It's going more like a Matsuba than a Yatsuri. Maybe that's what they use to get it a metallic. Never mind. Yeah, get a better selection soon. Desperately missing yellow in my pond now. Matsuba's doing really nice. And it seems to have lost its heart box. Whether it'll come back in the winter or not is a question yet to be answered. This little Shiro is doing nice as well. Alright, we'll come back to you guys when we've got fish in the pond, or we've got it filled up, ready to test. Well, good morning, beautiful people. And today we're going to be moving the fish back across. How unfortunate that we haven't managed to find the leak. It doesn't seem to be going down as much, so we're going to have to live with it over the winter, I'm afraid. It's a brand new liner. The cheapest I've found is 825 quid out of stock, and rising to nearly £1,000 the ones that are in stock. Same flipping liner. Why such a big difference in price? So got to save up over the winter, and then we can get it sorted in the spring. So overnight I think we've dropped about a centimetre. It was just under the top of the liner. So Well, you're going to have to live with it, I'm afraid. Because it's starting to get colder at night. I don't want to keep these guys in here any longer than we need to. So we've got a bit of that water in the bowl, along with a bit of the fresh, which has been treated for chlorine and that. So got some sodium thiosulfate in there. Right, and there's just 2 fish I want to have a look at properly. One is lurch, the other's the achiever. So I want to show you the difference in the coloration of them. This water's not totally clear, it's got no UV on it, so fresh water, get them in. Alright, come back to you in a bit.